Hey everyone, Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's in the Tube, or welcome back if this is your fourth Rookie Season 4 episode review. It's been a month. It's been a month since the Rookie's back. I love it. Sad that we're going on break next week, but what else can you do? What else can you do? Because this week, the Rookie, I initially thought, I'm being honest, I keep forgetting that, the promos for the Rookie do not accurately represent what the episode's gonna be. 90% of the time, don't even expect it. Whatever you think is gonna happen, throw it out the window, because it's always different. Honestly, I initially thought, oh my god, are we finally gonna get the first okay episode of the Rookie? Are we gonna get there? Because the promo last week didn't really hook me in that much. I still love the Rookie, so it's okay, I'm gonna definitely watch it, but I wasn't 100% thinking, is this gonna be another great that's what I thought going into it. But no, actually it was still another solid episode. It was still run-the-mill. They're doing something different this season, where I don't know if the previous seasons have done this that often. Again, I've now reviewed the show for 2 years straight. And I've been watching the show for 3 years, so I could be wrong, but nevertheless, I'm still thinking in my head, did we actually? I don't remember per se. Let me stop there. They're doing something different this season, where they're actually continuing every storyline properly, where it's the thematic story continued every episode, but there wasn't a continuous storyline continuing throughout every episode in the season. This season so far has been every episode has mattered, either adding into a new layer or adding in a new part of the mystery of the overall story. And I'm really enjoying it. I really am, because it's allowing a lot of more actors to kind of flex their muscles and really keep a consistent storyline going. And that's actually what I'm loving about it. But besides that, this was just another fun episode of The Rookie. Very much one of those we're filling in something, but then we're also building something up in the background, which I do like. And of course, having the character moments throughout. But anyway, let's go for the Butcher recap and talk about this week's episode of The Rookie, because fun fact, I have actually recorded 4 What's in the Tubes today, because this week is my birthday week. I won't reveal what day it is, because I don't care. Honestly, when people say it, I really don't. I won't mention it, but because there's going to be a lot of things for me to do, and also I do want to take a little bit of a rest, because it is my birthday week. I think all the episodes I've recorded today are coming out live this week, so it does help me with my load a little bit, especially as we hit the second half of the week specifically. But regardless of the case, let's go for it, because I've done a lot. Also, new TV background, by the way, so there you go. So we begin with Nolan having a breakfast date with his girlfriend, and they seem to be cruising along. They're past the honeymoon stage. They're actually just settling in as just a regular couple, and they're bringing up the age-old classic: cops versus firefighters. Who's better? And honestly, I'm still very thankful Grace has not delved into a cop spinoff yet, because I'm I can't deal with that right now. I really can't. I even watched the firefighter spinoff. I think I mentioned that before in previous weeks. And they're getting into it, and then she decides, his girlfriend decides, you know what, enough's enough. We're settling this tonight. We're gonna prepare the best stories we've had while we've been on duty, and whoever wins wins. And then that's the end of the argument for the remaining of time, or as long as this relationship lasts for. Because let me be honest, whenever Nolan gets into these relationships, it for me it tends to be, okay, this does have potential, but then it doesn't. And then like Chen, and then the higher up authority figure from the end of season 1, beginning of season 2. Then we had his ex, his ex that became a doctor. Now we have her. So it's what to do. But Nolan has to cut their breakfast date short, since he has to go out and buy champagne for Lopez, and then clarifies himself, oh yeah, she is nursing, so she still technically can't have champagne. So he's got to go get flowers for her. Lopez is welcome back. This is her first day back on the force, back on the load. Everyone's excited. Everyone's obviously teeing around the baby photos, and her lead detective is just okay, cool, cute baby. Here's 37 cases you missed while you were away that I expect you to knock out in your first week back. which is honestly hilarious. But regardless of that, what that may be, that's what she's got to do to come back to it. And they're getting everything now ready for baby mama mode for the station, since she's got to be pumping her breasts for the milk, and all that sorts, because that's just how things are. Meanwhile, for everyone else, I'm back at the regular bullpen. It's Union Rep time season, apparently, which I didn't even know was a thing, but I'm not surprised. So basically, ironically, Nancy Drew's kind of doing something similar, where it's an extra responsibility, an extra role. I'm not sure if it does mean more money. I think it just means like a better title, so to speak. And it's election time again, and Gray's immediately thinking like, okay, we have our usual representative, ladies and gentlemen, Smithy. I love Smithy so much. I love him. He has been the union rep for the department since 2006, and he just assumes he's going to run again unopposed. So he's just like getting it ready, his like victory walk. And of course, A.J. Nolan comes in asking. Honestly, this is exactly why I don't really pay attention to politics that much. I did last year for the whole for the election, but recently I'm like, I haven't, because like things have been doing pretty okay in my opinion. I love how Nolan just asked him like a very serious question about about their duties and how do we improve our services. And Smitty's like, that is a great question. We need more questions like that to be asked, because I will help you out when I'm reelected. I'm just thinking to myself, oh boy, like every politician. Okay, this is exactly why I don't get on the circuit. I know it means more followers, more influence, but like I'm not gonna be that shitty motherfucker. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway. So where do we go here? We tee off in a few different directions. Chan's about to start her shift as the gopher for Bradford, but we don't really get to see that much on it. However, before they're able to step out, Gray does pull aside Bradford to let him know that he's gonna have to take a couple of extra calls on the workload, since Gray has to step out for a personal delivery on a potential suspect of interest, which we cut over to a nearby restaurant where Elijah is the character that Brandon J. McLaren, which ironically I did the Turner and Hooch season 1 review today with him as well, which was, I love him so much. I love him. Like, I wrap up one weekly adventure with him and hope to God he gets to continue more on this show. I love how he's like, Elijah. He's very like calm and composed. Like, he knows what he's doing. He's a meticulous chess player. And he even mentions in this episode, like, he knows what the right moves, the right buttons to press. This is why he's running Empire, and you really don't get to see him scared. And I'm like, this is like, he's playing it to a T. It's like a fiddle. I love it. Wesley shows up to give him an update on the status of his client's case, the one from last week, the sniper, and he's just being honest with him, like, look, I really don't think I'm able to get him off, because it's just, even though, yeah, you think he's good and like, you can cast doubt of his involvement, but there's a lot of other things he's done and said that's going to make it difficult. But Elijah doesn't really care. It's like, look, find a way to get him out on bail. I'm going to make him disappear, and then this will be the end of the matter. So that's all you need to do. Get him out on bail, and that's it. And this is the person Gray wanted to go visit. So Wesley, trying to hide his involvement with Elijah, hides in the back while Gray personally delivers to Elijah. We're crossing paths soon, so if you go any closer, you're going to deal with me, and you're not going to like it. And Elijah does actually seem a little scared, because like Gray is like an intimidating force, but like it's similar to the fact like Gray can't get involved that much in the matter because it's still ongoing. But Elijah knows like once he gets involved, he's going to get scared. So, but that hasn't reached that point yet. Meanwhile, over for Team Nolan, he's doing his, now solo P2 duties, since he chins off with the gopher, so he doesn't really have a partner anymore, which kind of sucks for Nolan. It kind of does. That's one of the consequences of, sadly, losing Jackson and then having Lopez be independent, is that Nolan's going to do a lot of solo calls unless he gets his own rookie, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon this season. But while he's driving around, he runs into, assumingly, a little bit of a minor fight in a neighborhood, which involves two men trying to explain to that a woman that ran out of their house is just a wife that is one of the guys' wife that's on bipolar. So she's filled with anxiety. She needs her medication. She needs to be brought back to the house and been taken care of. But the neighbor doesn't believe it and lets Nolan know, like, yeah, she's probably, something's wrong with her. Like, something's bad happened to her. These men are doing something bad to her, and you need to like get her to safety. So Nolan does the usual T to the help, and gathers a note, start putting out an APB for her, and starts wandering the neighborhood and manages to find her behind an alleyway. And she's drugged up, very stumbly, speaking Russian, and Nolan slowly gets her into the car and assumes, I guess, she's been through something. These men have tortured her in some way, but as Nolan gets her into the car, the other two men show up and immediately indicates that, yeah, they're Russians. They're there for her. She has something they want, and Nolan engages in a firefight with them. But the lady escapes. Somehow she escapes in the middle, and the other two men just start driving away to go find her. Nolan calls in for backup. Chen and Bradford show up as well, and immediately they're just confused. Like, how did a missing persons case become a freaking gunfight with the Russians? So, since instead of like following the lady, which I'm like, she's not that far, you could still catch her, but like, okay, let's just ignore the obvious. They head back to the house where they found the Russians in originally, and it seems pretty generic. It's literally like it's like a pristine house with like the kitchen's not even used. The all the frames on the walls is like stock photos. Nothing's to indicate like that an actual family live here. And Nolan, doing his old age-old house worker construction guy, notices that the electrical panel that they're using is for appliances higher than 400 watts, which normally a house can do 200. So thank you, Nolan, for the fun house facts of the week. So there's something else going on here, because even a pool only needs like 200 watts. So something's definitely wrong here. And Nolan accidentally locks himself in the house, and I'm like, oh boy, this will be fun. Turns out everything's in Russian, not surprised. But Nolan keeps pressing another button and discovers a secret room to the basement where they find a bunch of weapons and surveillance gear and a lot of classified data that was in the middle of destruction when Nolan showed up. And so, yeah, so because of the level of international involvement here, they have to turn it over to the State Department so that they can handle the case further. But that means once they're involved, the police have literally little to no rights to be involved in the matter anymore. So, and this is our classic rookie group, so they're gonna get involved. They're gonna want to solve the case on their own. So they have to be very quick and cordial in order to get as much evidence as they can before they hand it off to the State Department. Which they do. They call in someone, and honestly, this is kind of like a weird one for me, because you have the State Department does show up, but you have like a guy in like casual gear just show up. He's like the freaking representative, he's like the communicator between the State Department and to the rookies, and I'm like, that is really new. Like, I never expected that for someone, but like, they literally the real like suits are just in the background, just doing what they want to do, and then he's just out there like doing all the communication stuff, and I found that a little bit interesting, to say the least. So they sign off, they get in, they do their own duty, and then Nolan remembers that when he was getting the lady originally into his car, she touched the hood of his van, so there is a fingerprint match there. They have to just go run in the lab and go get it. Harper and Aaron, is it Aaron? I want to say it's Aaron. Yeah, they're off for a coffee run quickly before they begin their day activities. While they're getting coffee, Aaron runs into an old friend of his before all the murder trial stuff occurred, and she's just telling him, oh, I supported you from the distance. Like, I knew you weren't guilty, but like, we should catch up. We should like grab dinner or something like that. And Aaron's like, you know what? I need some friends. He's the only rookie on staff this year. He hasn't really made any police allies just quite yet. And, he could use a buddy or two. And, she's an old friend, supposedly. I mean, obviously, Harper brings up a good point. Like, okay, well, was she there when you were at your trial? Did she support you during the trial? And she was. And so it's like, it's kind of fishy that she's popping him now when like it's all said and done. But Aaron doesn't pay much mind to it. He just assumes that it's going to be fine, and he could just use a reconnection at this point of his life. They actually do respond to into a hit and run for a bicycle to car, but the victim, the person who got hit, got taken away by the car, so it's just the bicycle that's left over. They talk to a man who reported the case, which is played by none other than Woodshop. He's from Nancy Classified. I'm like, wait a minute, are you the guy from Harry Potter? I'm like, oh no, it's you. It's like, I remember that face anywhere, that freaking bearded face, that like weird ball, but he was wearing a hat. I'm like, it's you, Chopsaw? I forgot. But it was so cool to see him again. He doesn't have a big role in this. He had a few lines, that's it, and I was like, it was so cool to see him again. I loved him as a kid, and I'm like, damn, I'm thankful he's still doing some things. But while they're running it in, and I think there's some banter between Aaron and Harper, but nothing really much. Also, I did forget earlier that there was like a running gag between Aaron and Harper about whenever they're doing like long shifts or just they're doing back-to-back cases and they really don't have time for like a proper lunch, that Aaron should pack something in his shop to like keep him fed while to keep him going. But he packs in like a freaking bag of, what did he pack again in the beginning? He packed in some nuts. No, he doesn't pack them. He packs in something, and Harper immediately rejects. Oh, he packed soybeans, and that Harper said like, oh, that's gonna get covered in mold by the end of the week. So like, that's a definite no, and even nuts are out of the question. But Chen notices all this struggle that he's going with Harper, and tells him that, you know what, you should really, if you need any like rookie advice, hit me up. Like, I can always give you a hand if you need. So Aaron appreciates it and takes her number. I want to say, oh, where do we go? Where do we go from here? Let's get back over to the Russian side of things. They do get a partial hit on the fingerprints in Nolan's car. It's a Russian agent who I'm gonna get this wrong. She has a connection to, I think, the Russian government, and she was there on duty. But then she actually started dating this U.S. Air Force marshal. And now he's disappeared too, and then it's confusing. So they get the address of the U.S. Marshal, and sadly he was killed by, presumably, the same Russian. The State Department do show up, and they're like, oh, surprise, surprise, you guys are here too. I mean, how quinky dink is that? Eventually they decide to gather their resources and pull in, and decide to talk in this very metallic truck in the back of the car, and they exchange info. They're like, the working theory is that she probably is reverting. She's defecting from the Russian government, and she's give away trade secrets, and that's a big no for them. So that's why they're trying to take them out. But the U.S. Air Marshal thing is like not like lining up with things, and Chen thinks it's your simplistic like run the mill romance story that she fell in love with him, and that's why she wants to defect to the United States to be with him. And then the Russians are like, oh fuck no, but realistically, we don't know. We really don't know what the matter is in this case. I want to say, did we get to the night? I don't think we get to the night yet. I don't know. Over at Lopez's side, Lopez is trying to get everything for breast milk procedure going so that her baby can have some natural breast milk, I guess. But the fridge broke, and Smithy's like, oh no. Oh no. And Gray tries to help her out, but there's a procedure and paperwork to be done, and that's going to take a lot of time. So she gets pissy over the fact that that's occurring to her right now. Wesley's talking with his client, the sniper from last week, about potentially taking a plea deal, confessing to Elijah's involvement in the matter, and then potentially getting Elijah arrested. But this guy's kind of staying his boots, Elijah's giving me money, he's helping me out, so I'm gonna defend him. I'm willing to stay silent for now, but Wesley's trying to comfort him, and then Lopez gives him a text like, hey, look, can you take the milk bottles back to the house so that the baby's fine? And Wesley's kind of pissy because I'm in the middle of a case, and you literally pulled me aside to transport baby milk back to the house, which is hilarious. Eventually, Wesley does fix the issue and just gets the department a whole new fridge just to shut her up, which I think that was honestly pretty funny in my opinion. I want to say, yeah, so Harper gets involved. I think they mentioned the arson case, the fire thing from last week. They do get a hit on it with a car that is suspected to be involved in it, which also relates to the bicycle guy. And then we cut to, I believe who was it? There is a scene where Nolan talks to Harper about some stuff about their cases, and Nolan does pitch the idea Harper, hey, why don't you become union rep instead? Because Smithy sucks at it. But Harper's like, nah, that means I have to campaign and be a nice woman, and that's not me, that's not my character. And Nolan's like, I forgot, I got you there. So later that night, Harper decides to run in for one of the leads on her own. She does find the car suspected in it, but then she notices some movement in the next connecting building. So she heads in there and discovers the body of the guy that was hit by the bicycle. But before she's able to figure out where the actual criminal is. He sets fire to the entire warehouse, and Harper manages to like shoot open a door, gets her and him to safety. I'm not entirely sure if this is the same dude from before, from last week. It does kind of line up with the MO because this guy was probably about to die before the fire occurred, so that you can ride up the fire, kill them. So this could be the same MO, but I'm not 100% sure yet. Let's wait on that a little bit. Next up, yeah. So also on Aaron's side of things, Aaron does meet up for dinner with his friend, but it's at a club, and it's 100% not. Apparently, it wasn't. It was never meant to be a social reunion. This was meant for her to like boost up her followers by getting some social media attention, and he's not down for it. He's not happy at all, and he decides to head out and like get away from her. He gives Chad a call to kind of get some advice since he doesn't know how to balance his work-life thing, because he's trying to like become the best officer he can, but at the same time he is a human being. He needs to have a social life, otherwise his life being just a cop is going to eventually get to his head. And Chen suggests to him like, yeah, well, when I was in your position, like I had like two fellow rookies, two best friends from the academy who like kept me sane, not just helping me out when we were getting on our rookies to becoming P2s, but we were like together, like, going through this together. And of course, Aaron mentions like, okay, yeah, it was you, it was Nolan who was the third guy. And yeah, that was again the mention of, Jackson, and, Aaron remembers, oh yeah, I forgot the guy who passed away. And it was kind of hard for Chen to, again, still not over it, still remembering that. And Aaron apologizes, but, that's the matter of things. And Lucy gives him some good advice about like how he should proceed forward with this. And, they leave it there. Harper and the other guy are at the hospital recovering from the smoke inhalation. Inhalation? I can't pronounce it. Nolan and his girlfriend were already out for date night, and they just moved their date night over to the hospital. Still trying to continue the war story argument about firefighters versus cops. Lopez and Harper all meet up together in the hospital room where they, I believe they determine, yeah. Whew. Sorry, that was the first time I'd yawned in like at an episode in like a while, because I've been talking a while. But yeah, so because of the other guys, being now away, they can't really ID anyone anymore. And the guy who's in surgery right now has a chance, but he's already lost a lot of blood, so there's no guarantee he's going to make it throughout surgery. So they really don't know what to do. They have to call it a night. Nolan and his girlfriend finish up their war story arguments, with Nolan winning with the Russian. The Russian story for the day when and then with her stuck in the middle of a canyon wildfire. So I'm like, okay, a Russian warehouse sounds cool, but like, damn, that's kind of scary to be stuck in a wildfire in the middle of a canyon. So that's kind of scary. But like, this is you know what, this doesn't solve anything. Let's have a play fight, because she cannot allow firefighters to be less than the cops. But then Nolan notices, like, when she's in fighting position, that he remembers that the Russian lady he found had her fist clenched when he got her, and then when she got out of the car, her fist was open. So indicating that whatever was in her hand is no longer in her hand. So Nolan decides to double back to the car, his original shot for the day, because it hasn't been processed yet. And lo and behold, when he gets in there, he finds a USB drive. But before he's able to, like, tell his girlfriend the good news, he turns around and he finds the Russian woman, now fully recovered, holding her at gunpoint, wanting the drive. Basically, your age, he'll like, give me the drive, I'll walk away, no one gets hurt. And no one's like, nah, I'm not going to fall for it. He throws the drive, and once she manages to try and catch it, his girlfriend fights her, but the Russian woman locks Noah into the cage, and he struggles to like insert the pin backwards, which I'm like, that's pretty funny. That's classic Nolan, that he doesn't know what the fucking backwards numbers are. But it's actually a pretty impressive fight scene between the Russian lady and Nolan's girlfriend. It was pretty impressive, and also, I did not know fighters can kick that much ass. I really couldn't tell you like that was a pretty awesome scene. And then like Nolan finally gets the panel to get open as soon as she gets the gun, and thankfully she gets arrested, but the State Department shows up at the nick of time to kind of like make the final arrest, make the final call. It's like, yeah, we got this case is locked and done. We thank you for your involvement. We'll be in touch for the paperwork. I'm just like, the fuck, you guys just show up at the most randomest time. It's like it's like the government agents from Jimmy Neutron were like, like Jimmy and his friend basically do all the heavy lifting. They show up and they just like take all the credit. And I'm just like, the fuck? Y'all didn't do shit. Like, I'm pretty sure they did shit behind the scenes, but I'm like, no one and his girlfriend were actually the ones in danger here. Like, you literally just showed up and like pulled up and it's like, yeah, we're just taking the credit for the case. I'm just like, damn these people. They stay over the next day to give their statement and like fill out all the paperwork. I know Wesley has a scene more with Elijah where Elijah tells him the news that I heard through the grapevines that our sniper friend was about to confess and like, make a case against me. So I had him killed. And Wesley's in shock, but he's not obviously surprised as he did try to convince him, but he's trying to save his ass by covering him. So like, look, we only talk legal jargon. That's it. Your client was like the most loyalist person in the world, but Elijah's like, he was 10 years on the service, loyal to the army. You're right, but he sadly had a change of heart after he talked to you. So I'm like, it's a little suspicious there. So, but nothing bad happens to Wesley at this moment. So, but he's on guard right now. Do we get anything else from everyone else? Yeah, Aaron and Chen are still like working together as like Chen is basically going to be like his like rookie ally since he doesn't really have an ally because he's the only rookie left in the station. Nolan once again tries to get Lopez. Well, he tries to get Lopez to run for Union rep, but she's got a baby, so that's not going to work out. But she does say, "Well, why don't you do it? Like, why don't you run for Union rep?" And Nolan's like, well, I just came off a very rocky year as a rookie. I just got out of it. I don't think anyone would have the right mind to vote for me. But Lopez is like, why don't you give it a try? Like, you never know. Plus, you have my vote because I just want Smoothie out of it. And I want to say if there's anything else going on. No. Is there? No, not really. And yeah, then before Nolan and his girlfriend leave for the day, he submits his offer to run for Union rep. Which I'm thinking to myself, wait, didn't he want to do the college classes to be a TO? Now he's doing the union rep stuff. I'm like, I'm not going to lie. I know no one does have a lot of things to do. And I know he's like a very respectful person. But like at the same time, like, you do have to finish those classes. Like, I know we haven't gone back to that lady yet in a while. But like, you might want to wrap that one up first. But regardless of the case, it's going to be an elections time for the rookie. And I'm like, am I gonna have to wear a suit if they have like a debate? Because like I review this show at 11 o'clock at night. I don't want to wear a suit, but I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's get it done. But yeah, that wraps up this week's episode of The Rookie. Yeah. So again, promos aside, this was a very enjoyable episode. Continuing the Elijah storyline that like, yeah, Elijah's been in every episode so far. So I'm like, if he ends up being the main threat for the season, I'm like, I'd be totally down for it. I don't know what his end game's going to be, or otherwise he's just a regular run-the-mill mafia lord or, crime lord. I don't know what to call him. I really don't know. But seeing him every week and giving Wesley something really substantial to do it's been cool to see so far. Slowly continuing the arson stuff with the arson killer from last week is like, again, these are cool things that they're continuing every week, like an actual serialized show. Like, not to say the previous seasons of Rookie didn't do that, but like you would get breaks from like, you would get this run and then you would come back later on and continue that one. So I'm just saying that I'm giving them credit where credit is deserved with that front. Well, yeah, I'm just really impressed by the continuity here, and of course, Aaron's fitting in well. He's got his own baggage to deal with, and him being like the new rookie on the block. I'm actually pretty curious, like, to get an Aaron flashback episode at some point during this season. I think that'd be interesting. I don't know when you would fit that in per se. I think maybe later in the season, but he's setting in pretty well, and we're starting to figure out more about his world and making him an established character too. So yeah, I'm curious on that front, and I hope that we get to that point sometime down the road. But honestly, again, this was another good episode of The Rookie. I enjoyed it. Giving them credit is deserved for the continuity front. And I'm going to give this episode 2 thumbs up, as always. So I believe that's going to do it for me tonight, everyone. So if you're unaware, this has been What's in the Tube from ActionX, reviewing every episode of the 4th season of The Rookie. If you want to know what we're doing normally on What's in the Tube besides our Rookie episode reviews, we're currently doing Heels reviews each and every Sunday nights, like each and every Tuesday mornings after a brand new episode on Sunday nights on Stars normally. We're doing DC Stargirl Season 2 episode reviews each and every Wednesday mornings after a brand new episode on Tuesday nights on the CW, or for the next day on the CW app. We're also this week. Also, we're going to be doing our Turner and Hooch season 1 review, which will be coming out Thursday morning. We're also doing Doom Patrol season 3 episode reviews each and every Friday mornings after a brand new episode on Thursdays on HBO Max, and we're also doing Nancy Drew season 3 episode reviews each and every Saturday mornings after a brand new episode on Friday nights on the CW, or for the next day on the CW app. But if you don't care about the Rookie, we're on a break next week because we're coming back with a Halloween special. That's why, well, it kind of sucks. Like, technically, it will be our first Halloween episode we're doing, but like the same night, it's coming on November 1st. Actually, November 2nd. I gotta double check the schedule. I gotta double check. That's a little bit off, but regardless of how that may be, we're doing a Halloween episode, our first one. I think we're ever reviewing. I mean, I've done 250 plus episodes of the show. I don't think I've ever reviewed a Halloween episode. Will I dress up? I don't know if I'm going to dress up. I really don't know. We'll see. Halloween's different this year for me, so I'm going to figure that out later. But again, if you're unaware, this has been What's the Two from ActionX. Please subscribe to us on youtube.com/ActionX videos. If you want to see more of us, please ring that bell for notification when our next Rookie review is live. Like, favorite, share of this review if you want to, but it helps us get it out there to other members of the Rookie Nation who want to discover us. Helps us beat out that YouTube algorithm that hates me ever so much in life, and as well as sharing us for free here on the interwebs. Please follow us on social media to stay up to date with news for updates for the channel. But until then, for all you members of the Rookie Nation, I'll see you all in 2 weeks. So enjoy your week off from me. We have other content to explore, as you just saw me rambling on for like a good 2 minutes about it. But yeah, if anything, I'll see you all on Halloween. I can't do it. I can't do a scary voice. Let me wrap it up here because I'm literally about to be dead. So again, until next time, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. And as always, peace out.